या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you very much, Prateek. Now I request Srimati Mamta Rani Agrawal, Advisor AICTE ATAL, to welcome dignitaries and provide a brief overview of the program. Over to you, Dr. Agrawal.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
A very good morning to all of you. Congratulations and wishes to all engineers on this auspicious Engineers Day. I extend a very warm welcome to our innovative and dynamic leader, our Honorable Chairman, AICTE, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe. The visionary leader neither likes to be introduced with any adjectives, nor he is comfortable in receiving compliments. I still take the liberty of telling all of you that these collaborations and initiatives are possible only due to his pioneering approach to collective efforts and making a difference in the lives of each and every stakeholder of technical education, or if I may broadly say, higher education. Hearty welcome to Manjuji, Lead Corporate Affairs, CSR, Philanthropies, Microsoft India, Nageshji from EduNet Foundation, amazing team Atal at AICTE headquarters, Shiraj and Sandeep, who has been working tirelessly at the backdrop, and all my dear participants. We all know the demographic dividend of India. Globally, youngest nation with largest youth population, nearly a half under 25 years of age, and 2/3 under the age of 35 years. By 2022, it is expected that 63% of our population will be in the working age group, and India is likely to have the world's largest workforce by 2027, with roughly a billion people aged between 15 to 64 years. It is, as it is a boon, it is also a challenge to make everyone employable, to make everyone contributory to the society, community, and nation building. Despite immense workforce capital which our country has, the employability has been stagnant around 46% since past couple of years. This impending workforce, it needs awareness, exposures to different fields, core competencies in disruptive technological ecosystem, and of course, opportunities in the job market. With this landscape, with this demographic landscape, over 65% of our population as of now seeks skill training and internship opportunities to become job ready. And I'm very, very happy to share with you that AICTE, through its own internship portal, has already made more than 6 lakhs, or maybe, and every day this number is being added up by new and new companies adding up to us, internship available on AICTE's portal. And I want all of you to spread awareness and make more and more students aware of our internships. Now, we women constitute nearly half of the population, But if you really look at the India Skill Reports 2020, the overall women workforce participation is only at 23%, probably one of the lowest globally. Our Honorable Prime Minister's vision, his desire that India should be an economy worth US $5 trillion. If we want that it must become a reality and it should become a reality, we really need to tap into our large demographic dividend and keep this upcoming workforce skilled to meet the demands of industry, which is fueled by the Industry Revolution 4.0. Here I want to talk about one of the McKinsey report which was funded by World Economic Forum. It reads and it says, the call for individuals and organizations alike to invest in learning and development has never been more demanding. In fact, the World Economic Forum recently declared it as a re-skilling emergency. I again want to draw your attention to the words re-skilling emergency. As the world faces more than 1 billion jobs transformed by technology. Even before this pandemic, COVID-19 emerged, the world of stable lifetime employment had faded away. It is replaced by the expectations that both faculty members and employees, here the context is about students, they must continually refresh their skills. The pandemic has only accelerated, it has heightened the urgency of doubling down on skill building, either to keep up with the speed of this transformation, which is now underway, or to manage the particulars of working in the new ways, in the new technology enabled way. But despite this context and nearly constant refrain for people to adapt to it by becoming lifelong learners, many of us struggle to meet reskilling goals. And we struggle to learn new and unfamiliar topics, unfamiliar context, unfamiliar concepts effectively. This particular survey I'm talking about, it has found that an underlying cause is the fact that so few adults, so very few of all of us have been trained in the core skills of mindset of effective learners. That is mindset of effective learners. Learning itself is a skill, and developing structured intentional learning is critical. It is a critical driver of long-term career success, life success. People who have mastered the mindsets and skills of effective learning can grow faster than their peers and gain so many more advantages from all the learning opportunities that come their way. Each of us become an intentional learner by intentionally investing in it. There are two critical mindsets or things you need to believe or you believe about yourselves and five core principles or behavioral aspects that collectively reorient you towards learning in everything you do. I will not be talking about the five behavioral aspect. You can either Google it or can write to me for the link. But just two quick lines about foster learning by adjusting two critical mindsets. So when I talk about critical mindsets, there are two. One is adopt a growth mindset. A growth mindset suggests that you can grow, you can learn, expand, evolve, and change as you desire. It has been a result of a deep, extensive research by a Stanford professor. He says intelligence and capabilities both are not fixed assets, but instead these are the traits you cultivate, cultivated by you, that is well within your command. Now feed your curiosity, the second aspect which he talks about. Curiosity is awareness and openness to ideas, a desire to learn new ideas, an ability to make connections between different concepts. Now, this Tech Saksham program is a program towards developing structured, intentional, technology-enabled learning. I talked about just a while ago. Saksham means empowering. In my opinion, empowerment is leading life in accordance with one's personal choices, terms, and conditions. However, Tech Saksham here is using technology as enabler to empower half of the demographic dividend of our country, that is we women. It also means fostering digital equity with a deep focus on emerging technologies, whether it is cloud computing, artificial intelligence, augmented and virtual reality, digital marketing, and web development, all these things. The program is based on both principles, that is core as well as modular engagement, building core technical skills to ensure readiness towards application of technology, and practice these acquired skills with mentorship with industry experts. And both are leaned towards job readiness in disruptive technological advancements. The program would be implemented in blended learning methodology, flexible course designing, curated to match learners' requirements, experiential learning to develop employability skills among underserved female students pursuing higher technical education. AICTE, through its various initiatives, is committed to encourage inclusivity, commemorate diversity, and celebrate excellence. We at ATAL Academy have been imparting rigorous faculty trainings on core emerging areas. Our another bureau, a faculty development program, it is focused on pedagogy, examination reforms, and orientation towards effective teaching learning practices. I'm very happy to share with you that to empower and to ensure inclusivity, AICT has developed, indigenously developed
Mamta ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you are on mute.
mute now, or I was mute throughout.
No, you were just mute for 5 seconds. Now you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll just quickly say that AICT is committed to encourage inclusivity, commemorate diversity, and celebrate excellence. We have too many schemes. I just touched upon ATAL, where we are delivering intensive faculty training for in the core competencies emerging areas. We have faculty development wing or bureau, which actually is touching upon uh, uh, examination reforms, pedagogies, effective teaching learning practices, and to ensure regional inclusivity, to empower people who are not so fluent in English. All our books have been translated in 11 scheduled Indian languages through AI-based, indigenously developed tool by AICT. I'm confident that AICT, Microsoft, and SAP will this program of Tech Saksham, we all will march together, inch together towards these committed shared values of AICTE, that is inclusivity, diversity, and excellence. All the very best. My best wishes to all the participants. Please take good, good advantage of the program and be lifelong, intentional, structured learners. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agarwal, for your insights and wonderful speech. Now, moving ahead with the program details, now I would like to invite Ms. Manju Dasmana, Lead Community Affairs, Corporate Social Responsibility, Philanthropies, Microsoft India Private Limited, to share her thoughts about need for such programs for bridging the industry-academia divide. Over to you, Ms. Manju Dasmana. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sandeep. I think before I start off, I do want to say that I'm actually representing Microsoft here, but this is truly the work of my team. So if Shiraz, you can maybe put yourself on the video for a minute and say hi to everyone so that, I can tell everyone that you've really been the mastermind behind this program.
In a patchy network today because of some activities happening in my area, but thank you so much. And I'm nothing without the team, so I'd like to thank you for all your guidance, and I'd also like to thank EduNet team and Mamta ma'am for guiding us and anchoring us throughout this process. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think, Mamta ma'am is always a very hard act to follow. She's literally taken all the numbers that I'd planned to speak about. So in a way, she's taken all the responsibility for me to talk about why AI is the need of the hour and how AI can really create opportunities in the remotest of the villages. So I'll keep my comments more personal. I really want to talk about why we are here, why we are excited about this partnership with AICTE. But let me first begin with just a big thank you to Mamta ma'am for just your dynamic leadership. Really, really so much. It's rare. I know you're demanding, and there are times that we've not, I think, come fully to your expectations, but the intention was, and just your dynamism helped us to get there. Also, Sir, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, a big hello to you. It's been 9 years since I joined Microsoft. I've been hearing your name since then, and I've never had the opportunity. I always wanted to have this opportunity. And as they say, if God is willing, not only do I have an opportunity to see you and be here in a program with you, but also that we are looking at a joint partnership with AICTE. So really, really thankful for that. I think in terms of Microsoft, I also want to talk a little bit about why this program and what inspired us. And really the story begins from our mission statement, because our mission statement says that to empower every individual and every organization on the planet to be able to achieve more. And as I look at that from a CSR lens, what it really, really means is that as the world talks about cloud and AI, making sure that no one really gets left behind, right? Everybody. And I think the benefit of technology will truly be when that remotest village and that young person in the remotest of village can benefit from technology. I think if we don't do that, I think we are in some way falling short of our mission statements. And that is really, really the vision for us for this program. And I think the second inspiration for this program was that a couple of years back, maybe a few years back, Satya Nadella is our CEO. You know him very well. He's passionate about technology and he's passionate about emerging technology and emerging markets. He was in a meeting with government. I believe he was probably in a meeting with the IT minister at that time. And he was talking about what technology can enable. And the IT minister said that can we ensure that if we tomorrow want to start a data center, we don't have to think about starting a data center in Pune or in Chennai or in Bangalore. That if tomorrow we want the remotest village in Netrang in Gujarat to have an data center, I should have a young girl there who can run the data center. And I don't have to kind of export talent from a city. And I think there are two subtexts to that, really, if you read it. One part is how are we making sure that there is talent available in every part of the country. But there's the other piece about which I think Mamta ma'am referred to, is that why is it that our young people would need to move to a city to actually get a job? How is it that we can really finally work towards creating employment opportunity where they really live? And I think programs like these ultimately will really help us get there. So that has been a big inspiration for us in the program. In terms of this partnership with AICTE, I think what excites us is that it gives us an opportunity to, of course, scale, but it gives us an opportunity to really reach to, in a way, many of the rural colleges, rural institutes that we would not be able to get on our own. I think Mamta ma'am referred to this a little bit in what she spoke, that I think in a way India is at a tipping point. Prime Minister Modi referred to that, and it was not a surprise that skills was a very big part of his conversation on August 15th. I do believe that a skilled workforce is going to be key for us for a sustainable and scalable economic growth, something that we can really sustain. And I think what excites me really is, and excites us at Microsoft, is that we are at a good position to land that. We've invested for a long time in STEM. We've been investing, and we have like such diversity of talent in our country, right? Not only can we grow talent for ourselves, we have been doing it, and we can continue to actually provide this talent for the. So what I believe in is India for the world, right? What can we do which is not just for us, but that can support the whole of India? And I think to that extent, this program really, really we feel can help us achieve that. And I've been in the skilling space for 9 to 10 years. From the small skilling program which run in small centers in rural areas, to we are now creating programs where we are talking about cybersecurity. So we have a cybersecurity training program where girls get trained to be cybersecurity expert. They are all different programs. Some have really like just a 1 month basic digital skills. Some have a 6 month residential program. But you'd be surprised at a couple of common things that emerge across and a common narrative that emerges across. One is, of course, the inspiration and the motivation of the learner themselves. Where do they want to? And I think if that inspiration is strong, that motivation is strong, wherever they may be. So I have a young girl who comes from Amravati, right? And a very remote village in Amravati. Until she came to our cybersecurity program, she'd never been outside of our village. And she's now is first generation learner. She's hired with a very, very big IT firm in Hyderabad, right? And just supporting all her family and trying to see how her younger sisters can get the same opportunity. So that motivation is really there. But why is that motivation? What is the difference that some centers we find that are doing much better and that some centers are doing okay? It's been my experience that's actually the faculty. They're the backbone of the program. Wherever we have a faculty that inspires and motivates, we find that the outcome for the students is also exemplary, right? And that is why I think this program, even as I speak about it, I get goosebumps, right? I just feel that this program becomes so important from that perspective on how we are helping young people not just to build a career. I mean, that's one part of it, or help them to learn emerging technologies, but really about helping them with skills that will help them to succeed in any area. Tomorrow, if today they're doing AI, they're doing IR 4.0, tomorrow they may decide that they want to change the world and they want to get into politics, but it's what we give to them is the framework that they can really, really, truly build on. And the reason we then partnered with AICTE is because we also realized that while we have so many expectations, cornerstone of our program is actually our faculty. The technology is evolving so fast. Learning experience is evolving now, not every year. Sometimes every month there is something new that is coming up. They're expecting them to keep abreast of all the developments, all the learning experience is a tad unfair, including with their existing work schedule that they have. And we are really hoping that through this program, we're giving you, in a way, some of our thank you back, like for helping us really deliver a program like this. And in a way, it is a selfish interest, because if you succeed, that's really where the success of program really lies. So thank you so much for all the faculty who've joined. I would encourage you to promote it to among your other faculty members to share your experience. More importantly, share your feedback. We're new as a philanthropies team. We are very new to some of this work we are doing. And we would love to actually hear from your experience. Sandeep and Shiraz will be in touch so that we can tweak, we can create a scalable model for next year and the next year again. And this is not the only partnership we're thinking about with AICTE, right? We want to do much more. So your learning experience will really, really help us a lot. And I think the final thing that I would say, and then, hand over to Sandeep, is that on the Teachers' Day, I was reading something very interesting. And it was a quote. I think it's an anonymous quote which says, teaching is the only profession that creates other professions. Like if you don't have that, then other professions will not really be created. So thank you, my heartfelt thanks once again, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, for your leadership, your sponsorship, Mamta ma'am, for really driving us. We look forward to your continued support and guidance, just the EduNet team, my team, and finally the faculty. Thank you so much, and looking forward to the success of this program.
Thank you very much, Manju Dasmana. We also look forward to this collaboration. And now I would request Professor Dr. Sagar Majhi, Principal GB Pant Government Engineering College, Delhi, to share the beneficiary view and ground impact of Tech Saksham program in his college, and that enabled him to build skill sets of students and faculty members. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, Nikonki. Thank you, madam. Madam, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay. I think on behalf of GB Pant Engineering College, I want to thank you all for allowing us to take part in this such a good ATAL program. Actually, in this GB Pant Engineering College, we have a Tech Saksham program. Now, of course, it became a faculty development program also. Of course, our students and faculty is very excited to have the opportunity to continuously upskilling their, today our problem is that, our engineers, skilling is a problem. So we are not able to, probably in the small engineering colleges, we are not able to give that much skill which industry requires. And especially women, this program is for women. I'm really very happy that we have a lot of young women engineers, budding engineers probably, and they are taking part in this. Of course, I understand, I was told that this ATAL, it is an initiative by Microsoft and SAP India. We please, from GB Pant Engineering College, we are thanking you all. In GB Pant Engineering College, in this program, 30 of our women students are participating, and they have enrolled in that artificial intelligence course. It has been a great experience for them. I am very confident that our students will successfully complete this course, and it will enable them to really gain a very good technical skill, so that they will be employable. Not only employable, probably they will be doing a good development work for the country. I think with this, I'll thank you all, because we have already, today is the probably Engineers Day, and in Engineers Day we also have a program in the college. Our Vice Chancellor, Madam, kindly has come to our college, so I'll leave with this, and I thank you once again to all of you, and I ensure that our participation in this will be totally, with a great enthusiasm, and we'll learn something out of it, and that will help the country. Thank you, Chairman Sir. Also, Chairman, I'm very happy to see that Chairman Sir has also joined. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Majhi. Thank you very much for your words. Moving with the momentum of the program, I would request Dr. Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE, to provide his valuable inputs and address the audience on role of teachers in empowering ecosystem, and share initiatives taken in bringing up digital literacy to households at a grassroots level. Thank you, sir. Please over to you.
Not muted anyway. Thank you very much, Sandeep Kaufji. At the outset, I would like to thank Microsoft and SAP, and in particular, Madam Manju Dasmana, along with Siraj and others, who as a team have put in this effort, along with my own team, led by Mamta Agarwal, who spoke so eloquently in the beginning. She is an advisor who joined hardly a couple of months back, and she has taken over. And as you rightly pointed out, Manjuji, that she is always after people to get the work done. And that is the thing which industry always looks for. So I think on this occasion of, Engineers Day, celebration of birthday of none other than Bharat Ratna Vishwesharaya, in whose honor this day is celebrated. We also have to celebrate women engineers who have contributed immensely. And some of the earliest engineers, this is a field where I remember during my time in the whole college, amongst about 1,000 plus students, there were only 2 or 3 girl students in the whole college. But prior to that, I remember Sudha is also an alumnus of same college from Hubli. And Sudha, you remember, she was a person who wrote a letter to Tata because she was not called for an interview by Telco. And then it became a big news. And then finally, she was given this appointment in Telco, which is a hardcore mechanical engineering factory. She did that. Even a predecessor of Sudha, that is Leela Poonawalla. I don't know how many of you are aware. She is the first mechanical engineer of India. And when she also again similarly applied to Alpha Laval, they said, how can a woman handle shop floor? And so they certainly gave her a job, but they gave her a job to do whatever you call gardening, etc. You take care of that because women can do that well. But she did not, slip on that front. She took up the job as a challenge. While taking care of the garden, she was interacting with shop floor people. And then when they found that she's capability, they put her on the job. And finally, she rose to the level of managing director of the company. So I think from being not considered as an engineer in the first place to proving herself as the worth. Same is the story of Usha, who was the first civil engineer from, again, College of Engineering, Pune. And Lalita, the first electrical engineering from Gindi College of Engineering. I think these are the women who, when it was a field dominated by men, showed the way that they can also make a difference. And in the later part, we have several women who have adored not only the top positions in the industry, but also in academic institutions, being deans, vice chancellors, and others. And we have found, as in the beginning, Madam Mamata was saying that there are only 23% of the women in industry. But some time ago, they were not even 23%, I'm aware. But many industries have taken a step forward. For example, Kirloskar Brothers Limited, in one of their factories, they have entirely 100% women in that. And same is the case with Cummins Engineering, who have said that they will start recruiting more and more women, less men, and by the time they become 50%, we will not leave that. And I think there are many empowering companies who are trying to do all of this. But the most important thing which has happened naturally is the AICTE report, which Ministry of Education, earlier it was called MHRD, MHRD's report called the All India Survey of Higher Education. We collect data annually, and last year's data showed in higher education, where gross enrollment ratio has touched 27% now, the gender parity index, where the number of women to number of men is calculated, was below 50 all these years, but last year women have pipped men. It is 50.03 versus 49.97, whatever. So that means there are more women in higher education. Of course, in engineering, they are still around 32%, which we need to increase further. But nevertheless, the transformation is already happening in the country, thanks to many proactive approaches taken by the government on one side, on the other side, the corporate world. So there has been a big ticket change which is happening. This particular program, which we call as Tech Saksham, Saksham in our Indian languages, be it Sanskrit, be it in Hindi, be it in Kannada, Marathi, any language for that matter, is making someone capable, making someone having capacity, making someone having competencies. So that Saksham is the right word which you have used. And Tech Saksham is the technology-based Saksham, and which is what this era of 21st century demands. And so the technologies such as AI, in which this workshop is going to be held, and all of the teachers who have joined in, they are very, very significant and important. And unless teachers become Saksham, students cannot become Saksham. So it is a chain. And therefore, in a right manner, both Microsoft and SAP have chosen to have Tech Saksham program for teachers. And these teachers, when they know not only theory part of it, but more important from SAP and Microsoft, they learn hardcore industry practices, practical problem solving approach. I'm sure they will all be able to do much better. As far as Microsoft is concerned, Manjuji, you mentioned about Satya. Satya has been an Indian at core, and therefore, when it comes to supporting in different ways, he always comes forward. There have been meetings with not only IT Minister, but I'm aware with the Prime Minister also. And that is how the first ever Indian indigenous MOOC platform, SWAYAM, which was created by AICTE, was with the help of Microsoft. I think we engaged with Microsoft. We worked for 1 year. Many people were saying that this job cannot be done in a year's time because most of the other MOOC, be it the MIT edX or Stanford's Coursera or many other MOOC platforms that are there in the world, they have worked for about a decade or so, 10 years, and then they became stabilized and good platforms. So how can you, AICTE, which is not even a technical education provider, but a regulator of technical education, and Microsoft, which is a company which develops certainly the Windows systems and all, how can they create a MOOC? That was a question mark raised by many doubting Thomases, but we proved all of them wrong. And within 1 year, Microsoft office was stationed in this very same building where AICTE had just moved in. In fact, our number of people were less that time and more Microsoft people were working from here because we have still not shifted entirely from our earlier rented premises to here. And that is how the story of this firm started. And I also recollect another very interesting phenomenon, which is not directly linked, but I would still like to mention it. And that is Microsoft conducts a program or what we call challenge, which is called an Imagine Cup Award, and where innovative ideas from students are taken in. And in College of Engineering, Pune in 2006, when nobody thought of introducing biology in an engineering curriculum, we introduced it. Even IITs had not thought of. Of course, Massachusetts Institute of Technology did have it. And my mentor, Dr. F.C. Kohli, said that we should start this. Whether IITs do or not, we should do it. And we had biology as a mandatory course. Of course, there was a lot of resistance from the students because they said we stopped learning biology from 10th standard and 11th, 12th, we have taken physics, chemistry, math. Now, why are you forcing us to take biology? And then we had to change the name of the course in the beginning and called it as the living machines. And that is how the physiology, anatomy of the not only human beings, but different animals and plants we brought in. And within 2 years of that, the first ever that Imagine Cup Award, they called it as a BioLel, one application they created, which was having application of biology, parallel computing, and our students won that award. So that means given an opportunity in terms of learning, which we call lifelong learning, skill-based learning, practical learning, you call experiential learning, you call learning through internship, all of this will actually engage faculty and students in creating knowledge which is useful for the world at large. And that is why this Tech Saksham is not only Saksham for the teachers to become Saksham, to not only create students to be Saksham, but the entire society to become Saksham. This will be an empowering movement. And that is why ATAL Academy, AICTE's Training and Learning Academy, which Mamata Agrawal is now leading, along with Microsoft and SAP, we are sure in the years to come, this will be one of those platforms through which a lot of Sakshamata will come in, and that is very, very important. And our Prime Minister often is now talking about not only Atmanirbhar Bharat, but there were chain of thoughts that he led. And today on an Engineer's Day, it is more vital. Because all that what Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya followed in his life, he lived a full life. We say that human beings have a life of 100 years, but hardly any person crosses the barrier of 100. Most of us survive up to 80, 85, 90, and if someone does 90, 94, it will be a very great achievement. But Vishveshwaraya lived for more than 100 years. In fact, his Bharat Ratna Award was given at the age of 101. And then he lived beyond for next 3 years. And that is how his teachings are very, very important today on an engineer's day. So whether it is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, whether it is Skill India launch, which the Prime Minister talks about, whether it is Digital India, Smart Cities, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, we have Make in India, Startup India, and now the Atmanirbhar Bharat has linkages with the entire lives of Vishweshwaraya. The honesty and integrity which he exhibited was one would have not even imagined. Please remember, I'm telling that story repeatedly in many of fora, and I'm repeating here. Many of people would have heard it. So when he was Diwan of Mysore, and that time still electricity was not there, so people used to use the oil lamps. So he was working for the office, several files, etc. He was studying through using of an oil lamp. And around 10:30, the files were all cleared. He was free from the office work at night 10:30, and he wanted to then do something else. And then he called the servant from the home and then said, bring a different lamp. And he lit the other lamp and he switched it off or put it off. That fellow was surprised. There was oil, it was already lit. Why did he bring in another lamp? He said, so far I was using office oil and office lamp. Now I am going to use it for my personal work, my personal reading, and I want to use from my salary, whatever oil I have purchased, I want to use that oil. I think this is the beyond imagination integrity. Actually, we often use sometimes office vehicle to move here, there, but I think this will always pinch all of us at any point in time that he was a real towering engineer with absolute values. And these are the values which Microsoft promotes, which is SAP promotes, AICTE promotes. And that's why on this occasion, when we are remembering Vishweshwaraya on all his facets, and lastly, the new education policy talks about multidisciplinarity. And if you remember the life of Vishweshwaraya, the first steel plant, he was a civil engineer, but he started Bhadravati steel plant, the first hydel plant, electric power plant, which had 40 hertz cycle, not 50 hertz, and that still is working for so many years. We all know about Mysore KR Sagar Dam. It's an earthen dam living for several decades and not a crack. Even our concrete dams these days, they crack and then there are lots of damages which happen. And then the Mysore soap factory, the State Bank of Mysore, the Agriculture University, you name it, and he was there. So that means a holistic vision of life, which is what we all want through the new national education policy. Another stalwart, Dr. Kasturi Rangan, a scientist from ISRO, who was an author of this particular policy. We are implementing step by step. In 1 year, we have achieved something. We have a long way to go. But in the next 10 to 15 years, our education system will be the one which the whole world will be looking at, whether it is multiple exit, multiple entry, a lot of flexibility in operation, how we can support innovation and in entrepreneurship. I think today we look at US, we look at some of the European countries for education. Tomorrow is India's day. Now, with this, I conclude. Thank you very much for such a wonderful program that you are organizing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anil Sahastra. Now, I would request Ms. Manju Dasmana to please give us her valuable 2 to 3 minutes so that we can talk about the need of collaboration in Tech Action Program. Over to you, Manju. Thank you.
I just need just a minute. I think one person that I completely forgot to mention here, and I think that's one piece what Sandeep you mentioned about collaboration. You know, of course, it is rare that companies come together and collaborate together. And I think I forgot, and I was very remiss of me to miss one important architect in this program, and that is Gunjan Patel, who is my contemporary at SAP. And he was his contribution. It's unfortunate that he's on a personal leave for a long time and he has to be somewhere and he couldn't join us, but he's missing here a physical, but his spirit is totally here and he's a big kind of a partner. SAP is a very big partner. And I think while as Microsoft, we bring certain kind of value, just having SAP there together, it's amazing. So just thank you so much, Sandeep, for allowing me to just add that bit which I had missed out in my initial points. Thank you so much.
Manjuji, I also forgot, so I also have my apologies for not mentioning Mr. Patel. Actually, it's very, very important for all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sahasrabuddin. Thank you, Manju. So now moving on to our program, I would request Mr. Surinder K. Sharma to please do the honors with vote of thanks.
Sure.
Over to you, Surinder. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Surendra Kumar, on behalf of EduNet Foundation, would like to thank our honorable guest Professor Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE, for gracing the occasion with his presence and sharing his experience with us, which is really inspiring, and it will motivate all of us to move into a specific direction to become tech Saksham and help our young girl student to pursue and acquire key technical skills to secure a great career in mainstream technical industries. And also, it will really help our faculty members to help these students to mentor them and nurture their key skills so that they can become tech Saksham. I would also like to extend heartiest thanks to Srimati Mamta Rani Agrawal, Advisor AICTE ATAL, for words of encouragement. Her able guidance has always encouraged us from the beginning of the program. We thank her for collaboration and continuous guidance and support in making Tech Saksham program a very successful program. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Ms. Manju Dasmana, Lead Community Affairs, Corporate Social Responsibility at Microsoft India, for her stewardship, support, vision, and commitment towards the enablement and empowerment of education system through initiatives like Tech Saksham program. We thank our Principal Professor, Dr. Maji Director, DSEU and GB Pant Government Engineering College, Delhi, for his valuable contribution, guidance, and encouragement in efforts to highlight need for such collaboration in uplifting and enabling education ecosystem across the colleges and universities. Our gratitude and thanks for the support and participation to Dr. Amit Datta, Deputy Director, AICTE ATAL, and Dr. Girdhari Lal Garg, Assistant Director, AICTE ATAL, and Team AICTE ATAL, the principals, head of various departments, faculties, and TPOs for their valuable time and participation in the program, and who have all worked hard to ensure that this occasion becomes a memorable success, and will continuously work with us in helping students to participate in the program actively, supporting and mentoring students to complete the project works so that they can become tech Saksham. Finally, I leave this occasion with a very inspiring quote, which says that technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be really transformational, which can really change life of people on ground. Once again, I thank all of you for your valuable time, support, and participation in this program. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sandeep.
Thank you very much, Surinder. Thanks a lot for your vote of thanks. Now I would request Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE, Srimati Mamta Rani Agrawal, Advisor AICTE ATAL, Ms. Manju Dasmana, Lead Community Affairs CSR Microsoft India, Dr. Sagar Maji, Director GB Pant Government College of Engineering, and all the present participants to please switch on their cameras and join us for an e-photograph. So we would take another 1 minute so that all can fit in the frame. We would request the participants to please switch on their cameras so that we can have the photograph. Prateek sir, we would request you to capture the photograph all in one frame.
Yeah, sure.
And while our preparation for the capturing of photograph is going on, I would like to announce that our next FDP will be scheduled in another 15 days. We will be updating the entire details on the AICTE ATAL portal. Also, we will be sharing the individual email information to all the participant faculty who could not register because the event is live and the registration has been closed. So we request all the participants, all the faculty who could not register for today's FDP, kindly wait for 2 weeks and the next FDP would be live on AICTE ATAL. The intimation and information would go live. Thank you. So Prateek, we would request you to capture the photograph. And once it's done, kindly let us know about it.
Yes. So I am capturing multiple photographs, so I can see more people joining in.
Sure, sure.
Yes, it is done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prateek. Thank you very much. Now, thanks a lot to all the participants, to our dignitaries. I request registered faculty members to continue with these sessions, and we thank you, dignitaries, for their participation in the launch program. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manju. Thank you, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, sir. Thank you, Mamta, ma'am. The participant faculty members kindly stay on the same link. We will be continuing for the FTP session from here, from the same link. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabudhe, sir, for your valuable time. Thank you very much.